For exclusive content that Shakaama offers, join us over at Patreon as supporter of the Shakaama Live Show. That's video content you won't see on YouTube that can help you grow and maintain your wealth, financial education wrapped up in plain English, and video series of interesting and thought-provoking topics. Join us at bit.ly/patronshack. It's the first link in the information box. I know this is going to come as a shock to a lot of you, and you probably will have a day of sadness. But Al Sharpton says he is making plans to leave the U.S. if Donald Trump becomes president. But he's open to supporting Marco Rubio. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Reverend Al Sharpton says he may be booking a one-way ticket out of the U.S. if businessman Donald Trump becomes president. Sharpton says he is open to supporting anyone with the exception of Trump, claiming that the business mogul would probably deport him anyway. Sharpton told attendees at the Center for American Progress Action Fund on Thursday that he is already reserving his ticket to get out of here. The Washington Examiner reports that Reverend Al Sharpton had mostly positive feedback for Republican candidates like Marco Rubio until he got to the discussion of GOP candidate Donald Trump. Once the Donald was mentioned, the conversation turned to Al Sharpton's admittance that he would likely get out of here if Trump is elected to president. Sharpton notes that he would leave on his own accord before Trump has the chance to deport him. Quote, "If Donald Trump is the nominee, I'm open to support anyone else, while I'm also reserving my ticket to get out of here if he wins, only because he'd probably have me deported anyway." Therefore, it seems that Al Sharpton is open to supporting Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio or Ben Carson, but if refusing to show even remote for Trump. Though Sharpton claims that Trump would likely deport him if made president, he did not explain the statement any further. However, both Trump and Sharpton have publicly shared different opinions on political issues in the past. While Sharpton spends his time at national protests condemning police brutality, Trump has been vocal about other controversial topics such as immigration and foreign policy. This isn't the first time that Al Sharpton has painted an unflattering picture of Donald Trump to his followers. Prior to revealing his plans to potentially leave the U.S. if Donald Trump is made president, Sharpton likened Donald Trump to Don King. Sharpton says that the best way he can describe Donald Trump is to say that he is the white Don King. In fact, Sharpton says that King and Trump are the only that have left him completely speechless and unable to talk. Sharpton remembers a time that he allegedly flew on Donald Trump's private helicopter with Don King and described how the pair each talked relentlessly on the flight, over-talking one another with neither ceasing despite not listening to a word the other was saying. Quote, "I think what he had said has been biased and bigoted, but I don't know if Donald Trump is really a bigoted guy. The best way I can describe Donald Trump is to friends is to say if Don King had been born white, he'd be Donald Trump. Both of them are great self-promoters and great as just continuing to talk even if you're not talking back at them." While Sharpton has voiced concerns over Donald Trump becoming president, he has not revealed what presidential candidate he will be endorsing in the 2016 election. Though he's open to support anyone in the GOP, his endorsement would likely go to someone from within his own Democratic Party. However, he says he has not decided which of the candidates, Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, he will endorse, as he is in the midst of a process. Quote, "I have not decided who I will support for president. I think we are in the midst of a process, and that process has to be detailed policy, and what process has to include collective gathering. Does Al Sharpton's statement that he is open to support any other candidate, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz and Ben Carson, except for Donald Trump? What about Sharpton's comparison of Donald Trump to Don King? Are you going to cry if Donald Trump gets the nomination and Sharpton gives a Richard Nixon salute as he boards a plane? Please leave a comment below. I am in suspense. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.